Hey guys, so I told you this video was going to be coming, and here it is. These are the two deep sea / nautical journals that I have. I basically started these in February and finished, I think, maybe before March or early March. They took me quite a while. They're very, very big. They were a very big project, and I absolutely love how they came out. I kind of don't want to sell them. They are absolutely gorgeous on my shelf, and I have really enjoyed looking at them, but I don't know, I have a hard time keeping, so I made these knowing I was going to sell them, and I have a hard time keeping that kind of stuff for myself when I know that they're meant for somebody else. But I love them so much. I love what I make so much that I can't just go and sell it right away because it's heartbreaking. I had made that mermaid journal that hopefully you guys have seen that video, the flip through of my mermaid journal. And that one sold like less than 2 weeks after making it, and I opened up my Etsy shop right after having finished making that one, and so I didn't get to enjoy it for very long before it sold, and I'll be honest, I cried when I sold that one. I just wasn't ready. I realized that I wasn't ready to let it go. So this time I did not make that mistake. I held on to them for a little bit and enjoyed these beautiful covers and their beautiful tassels, and maybe they won't sell right away and I'll still get to enjoy them. That's okay. And if I do sell right away, hopefully somebody just loves them as much as I do. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get started. So on here, this cover, I chose this. This is a vintage picture of a boat, and I chose this chipboard paper doll of this boy and his dog. I feel like they look like they own this boat. Like, he's on his own, and he's got this little dog friend, and they go on adventures in this boat, and so they need a journal to write about their adventures. So I've got this compass here. Oh, it's not a compass, it's a, I'm not sure what that's called, but it's got the northeast, south, and west on it, and that has been excuse me, that has been slightly rusted, very, very slightly, so it's not too dirty, just enough to add some grunge to make it look old. And I've got cheesecloth on here, and fishing rope, fishing net on there, and this cheesecloth is all hand dyed by me. And then here we've got the words, I can't remember what that's called. Here we've got some, this is muslin, I think. And then we've got this is specialty scrapbooking paper that kind of looks like blue leather to me. And then up here we've got this, so I put, I was making this a nameplate, but I felt like this octopus, this giant octopus charm looked so cool right here. And I made this little chain here with these little smaller versions, like basically this is like the boss, and these are his little guys that help him do whatever. And they're on this chain here that can come off because it's attached to the tassel, and I always make my tassels removable. So if you are taking it off, this part does come off with it. So just know that. And then we've got, so that's the spine there. I use this blue bookbinder string, and then the back. So like I said, these are big boys. They measure, this one measures 11 inches by 11 inches tall not including these papers that stick up. That's just the actual cover. It's 11 inches tall by 8 inches wide. And here we've got a flour sack towel that's been coffee dyed for the closure. It's nice and flimsy. And then the actual tassel here. So I have, these are big tassels. So I use this jute string to tie a bow around it, and it's attached to some of the book binding strings. So if you want to take this off, like I said, first you'll have to undo this chain here just with this very simple bulldog clip. And then you will have to untie this just by pulling on one string. So I will not be doing that right now. And then you just undo this clip here. So as you can see here, it's held on right there. Because it is such a big tassel that I did not want it just like flinging all over the place. So this is the tassel. Let me open this up so I can lay it flat and better show off the tassel. And by the way, these are the pages. Aren't those just gorgeous? I edged them all. I inked all the edges to make them very, very vintagey. Like it's just been out at sea for years, hundreds and hundreds of years. Alright, so on this tassel, we have two chains with charms. And the charms start big at the top and then gradually get smaller. And there's a lot of charms on here, so I won't go through each one, but hopefully you can get an idea of what's on there. So there's those two chains, and they are held together by this little chain here, so that keeps them out on the outside of the tassel and not getting buried inside. And then they are attached to this big metal ring here. So attached here and attached here with very sturdy C-rings. And then this here is also attached to that C-ring. And then in this tassel, so if you guys remember my tutorial, I used seam binding, and I hand dyed it with, I used Tim Holtz distress sprays, and then I also used food coloring. And so like, I did it on these flour sack towel pieces here, these strips, and I did it on the seam binding, and then the seam binding I crinkled it up. And just, I love the look of crinkled seam binding. It's just beautiful. And it's so bouncy and fun to play with. So this is loaded with all different colors. I forget how many I made, but it was a lot. I made a lot of colors, like off the video. I made a whole bunch more. And then I used some eyelash trim that kind of went with the color scheme. And I've got this thick jute rope. And it's I'm so in love with these tassels and how they came out, like the color, which of course does not show up right on camera, but these colors are just so gorgeous. I just really love it. And I love the little bow too from the jute string. I feel like that actually adds a lot to the decoration of it too, not just the function. So, alright, I guess it's time to get inside. And the inside of this one, so both of these journals are different, with the exception of like the bulk of the pages. They're pulled from the same sources and made the same way. But this journal is a paper inside cover, and then I used this the scrapbook paper is from, oh, I forget the name of it. It's, well, anyways, it's, I loaded all the pockets with lots and lots of ephemera that can be used, because these are kept plain, I am a writer, a daily writer. I write a lot and I go through journals quickly. So I'm assuming I am not the only person out there who is like that. But I also like to have little things accessible to me to decorate, or like right on the back of a card or something. It's all right here, ready to be used. I've got some paper washi tapes too. And just some more stuff back here. Lots of fun, pretty things that can be used for making pockets or to use as writing cards. I love this. This was printed, but it looks like it was pulled from a vintage book. So those are really cool. Alright, so these are the pages, and there's not really going to be much talking for this part because there's not really too much to say. Now, I did use some digitals in here, but a lot of these papers are my own, like, handmade papers. I did a lot of coffee dyeing, food color dyeing. This is a Tim Holtz scrapbook page. This was made with pigment powders. This looks like you're looking into the ocean. I just love that. That is so cool. And I used pages from vintage books that I also coffee dyed to make them look a little more vintage. And then I used some grungy pages. I've got a paper bag in here that's great that you can just put some fuller sized papers inside. Or ephemera or whatever, and then if it's too big and things are falling out, just use a paper clip on the edge and that'll hold it in. So a huge variety of pages in these journals. There are 5 signatures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 signatures, and this one has 428 pages. There are, like I said, these are big books. These are tomes, you know. They are a lot of pages. So this, if you are a big writer, this should last you a while. Like, for myself, this would probably last me 3 months. 3 to 4 months. So there's the other side of that paper bag. Love the ships. And more of that water paper. This is probably going to take me quite a while to flip through, actually. So I'm going to try to speed it up a little bit. Because I got to get through 2 of these. This paper here is a specialty paper, like a handmade paper I bought on Amazon. I love it. It has these natural decal edges. And it's kind of cottony feeling. It feels amazing, and it's so thick. Like, you can watercolor on these pages. Wow, look at that coffee dye there. That's beautiful. We've got some tracing paper I printed on the Eastern Seas. I love the notebook paper that has these on it because it adds a lot of grunginess to it. You know me, guys. I love my grunge. This is a paper that I sprayed with Tim Holtz Distress Sprays. They make some beautiful papers. I love using those to make papers with. These are not all that great for writing on. They kind of, or at least for me, they gum up my pens. But I did it on thicker paper, and so that would be good to do pockets on or put pictures on it because it makes a beautiful background. So I don't do too many of those because they're not good for writing on. But you can always, like, glue a piece of paper on that paper. and then write on that piece of paper, and then it's got that beautiful page as a background. This is more of that paper, cotton paper. Probably not cotton. I don't know really what it's made out of, but I got it off of Amazon. So the last color was gray, and this one's more of an orangey brown. So there's 2 colors of that paper in these journals. I love that picture. That is so cool. There's lots of grungy printables in here. Here is vellum paper, coffee dyed. Got some brown wrapping paper. And then the end of that signature. This is a vintage, a vintage book from the Illustrated Library of Nature book series. And I just love the imagery on them. They're so beautiful. And then the blue, of course, goes with my theme. And they are sea themed, so lots of fish on them. What I love about these journals is they're just such a huge mix, a huge variety of different types of papers. I love this metallic spray. That was fun. There's just so many. I have such a big collection of different types of papers, from books and printables, and even printables are printed on different paper thicknesses. I have like maybe 10 different types of paper that I buy just for printing and coffee dyeing. Actually, maybe it's even more than that, because some of that paper is extra just for coffee dyeing. And then I've got paper bag materials, packaging materials, and wrapping paper, all the vintage books that I can pull from. It's such a big variety. Oh yeah, and all my notepads. I have such a big collection of notepads. A lot of them I found from the thrift store, and some of them were actually kind of old. So they're naturally vintage. Of course, they probably ended up getting coffee dyed because it makes them all crinkly and beautiful. But I've got all these different types of papers, notepad papers too, and ledger papers and graph paper. Just all kinds of stuff, and that's just one of the things I love. Like, it keeps the journal fresh, because when you're writing on some pages, it's like your next journal entry will be totally, completely different types of pages to deal with. So that way you're not just writing on same old coffee dyed page after coffee dyed page after coffee dyed page. And then I use, this is a coffee dyed blue piece of paper, and this is coffee dyed green. And that changes them up too. Look at that beautiful picture with all those ships. I love that. This is, I forget what this paper's called. It's that, it's that stuff that people make little pouches out of for like a cookie or something. And I don't know if you noticed, but this book is layered, which means the pages are shorter in the beginning and gradually get longer at the end here. So these pages here are actually the size of two 8.5 by 11s. So they are 11 by 18, 19? 11 by 19 inches, I think. Is that what 8.5? No, wait. 16, 17. 11 inches this way by 17 inches this way. So they make really awesome pages. Excuse me. And then I was able to, because the pages keep getting bigger and bigger, I was able to take full-sized, this is a magazine page. I was able to take a vintage magazine page. I was able to take full-size pages from magazines and books, and I just used masking tape and to put them together. And then now you can enjoy it the way that these pages are meant to be enjoyed, right side up and not folded in half. So you'll see a lot of more of that as we get closer to the end. I hope I'm staying in frame here. It's such a big journal, it's really hard to keep it in frame. Now these pages are getting really big, and you could fit so much writing on them. And I think this is the last signature. That one looks really cool. That stuff's kind of hard to control, so it always makes its own designs, the powder pigments. Alright, that's the end of that one. Now I'm going to try to quickly go over the next one because, like I said, some things are the same. One of the biggest differences between these is the covers, but then also the tassel. I chose more the blue stuff for this tassel, but also it's shorter. It comes down to just a little bit past the length of the book, whereas this one is a lot longer, kind of like my starfish journal. Not quite as long as my starfish journal. That one I made like it was mermaid hair, and it was just so long. This one, it just felt right having some length to it. And then this one just ended up getting shorter. They each had a mind of their own when I was making them, even though I was making them at the same time. So this one, I used this really awesome ship wheel I got from a yard sale. It's very thick, but it's very, very well glued down. It's not going anywhere. I used a lot of hot glue on that. And we've got more of the cheesecloth and that stuff. Then I used a brown ribbon here. And we've got, this is some paper bag that's been inked up. And more cheesecloth here. So I've got 2 layers of cheesecloth. And then here's more of that blue leathery type paper. And then I did the same thing with the octopuses because they just look so awesome and bad, and they just needed to be on the cover of the deep sea nautical journals. So I got the same thing going on here with the clip and the tie, the jute tie, and the clip. Let's take that off. And then here on the back, we've just got the simple backing here. And you can really see the corrugated cardboard that I painted white, and it just looks really pretty. So the same thing's going on here with these charms. I think they might actually even have pretty similar types of charms on them, if not identical. Well, probably not identical, but pretty close, pretty similar as far as that goes. And then this is made up out of the same thing. It's just the color scheme was more like darker. These ones, this tassel is like more lighter, and then this one's darker coloring. Alright, and then we've got, for this tie, I think I used muslin for the tie. And then that was food colored, I think. It was either food colored or distress sprayed. I don't remember which one. Actually, this might be distress spray. But I don't remember, so I'm sorry. So this one, measures 11 inches tall, just like the last one, but it's a 1/2 inch shorter this way. So it's 7.5 inches this way, and then it has 416 pages. Again, 7 signatures. This time I used the brown bookbinding cord. It's like dark brown with like tiny, well, I was gonna say it's kind of a reddish brown, but not really. It actually really matches this wheel really well. So this one I did a fabric interior of the ship fabric that I got, and then I used this flour sack towel for pockets. It was sewed onto this fabric. I've got a rusted safety pin here, and then this pocket's just loaded with ephemera. And then this one, I made this little thing here, this little folio thing. It's loaded, like lots of pockets and stuff. And all the pockets are loaded with stuff. So I won't be taking those all out. So that is one of the ways that these are different from each other. Is the interior and what's in the interior. Alright, so here's the pages. Like I said, these are going to be pulled from the same sources, but like they'll of course be different digitals because I don't duplicate the digitals when I print them. So they'll each have their own, and of course the book pages will also each be their own. Got the paper bag there. And then of course they're lined up differently. They're not, the signatures weren't made identical. I made each book by itself at that time, so I just put together the way the pages felt right to go together for each book. Excuse me. Look at that shit. That is cool. I think it even tells you. Where's the other side of this? Well, I'm not sure, but I was wondering if it tells you like about the ship on that page. I love that picture. Could not fold that one in half. That definitely had to be an end of the book picture page so I could keep it straight. That one too. And just a little glimpse of what's in these pockets. We just got some random ephemera. You can use these to decorate or make pockets on the pages, or use them right on the back and tuck those in places. There's a lot you can do with this stuff. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll hit the like button and subscribe for future videos. Coming up next will be a video of my room tour, so keep an eye out for that one. And that is it. Thank you guys. Bye.